A lot has happened in the last week. Leaks about upcoming Intel and AMD CPUs, the ongoing melting RTX 4090 debacle, and now we can add 4080, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt getting a next-gen update, and so much more. So let's dive in, shall we? So let's start things off with hardware and tech news. It looks like the rumor mill is churning around the future of Intel CPUs. While it doesn't appear that Intel will be moving on from its latest 13th gen Raptor Lake family until late 2023, it's okay, little frag box, we still got some time together. We're likely to see a refresh of the lineup later this year when they squeeze a few hundred megahertz out of the CPU, with, the whole KS thing and all that sort of stuff. But the Meteor part of these rumors is that 2024 will see the launch of the Meteor Lake. Let's see, Meteor, okay. Anyway, the main takeaway from this is that Intel will be reducing the number of P cores across the board to 6 while maintaining the number of E cores for each respective CPU in the lineup, starting at 6 P cores and 8 E cores and going all the way up to 6 P cores and 16 E cores for a total of 22 cores all up. Arrow Lake will be the follow-up at the tail end of 2024 and into 2025 and looks to bump up the base P core count to 8, so we should see a gradual progression in terms of core count now that Intel will be moving to a base P core count, with the variance being the E cores moving forward. And yes, it is hilarious that Meteor Lake will be the end of Raptor Lake. Can I dinosaur puns? Okay, anybody? Well, let's talk about Team Red then. Their X3D lineup for Ryzen 7000 is supposedly only going to come in 2 flavors, the 6-core or 8-core. These 3D stacked chiplet designs resulted in better performance in games that are cache intensive. With their price to performance ratio, they've been very popular CPUs for gamers. And later next year, the AM5 APU lineup will likely release, though there's no information currently available on the specs. Now, the final piece of information we got from these rumors and leaks is that AMD will be announcing the A620 chipset, which aims to be like an entry-level platform that will work with any non-X and Ryzen 3 CPU. Now, the idea for this is to give users an even lower barrier to entry into the AMD ecosystem, since the AM5 generation has a fairly high cost for those who just want to get started. But there is this kind of one major issue. While it's nice for the short term, the biggest draw to AMD is how easy it is to upgrade from one tier of hardware to the next within the same motherboard family. With the A620, that won't be the case, since you'll be severely limited on the hardware that's compatible. But we're curious to see what you think of all that, and let us know down in the comments below if you're interested in the whole A620 platform. Okay, so we've got some information on the Steam hardware survey. Now, look, this isn't typically like a segment on our news for the week, but with the rumors about future CPUs and shenanigans with all the GPUs right now, we thought it would be interesting to take a look at Steam's latest hardware and software survey. The 2 main areas of focus I'd like to look at are actually GPUs and CPUs. You see how I tied it all in there? And given how much press the RTX 4090 has gotten lately, it's good to remind ourselves that by and large, the GTX 1060 is still the most commonly used GPU when it comes to Steam users that submitted their hardware data. This is followed by the RTX 2060, which NVIDIA recently announced that it would actually stop manufacturing, the GTX 1650, and finally the RTX 3060. So pretty much all of the budget-friendly GPUs of the past few years. And our first set of news stories about the upcoming 6-core Intel and AMD CPUs starts to make more sense when an overwhelming percentage of users are running 6-core CPUs in their rigs. Now, while we do have to keep in mind that this is a snapshot of users that participated in the survey, it's one of the largest hardware surveys out there. It's also super interesting to see that most gamers are still playing at 1080p, which makes sense since the most common GPUs only support that resolution and aren't even really 1440p, much less 4K, much even less 8K, much even less 13K like that Genshin Impact weirdo. They're playing at 1080p. While it's important to take all of these charts, graphs, and metrics with a grain of salt, it's something to bear in mind when we look at brand new, cutting-edge hardware that touts the ability to game in 8K at a badillion FPS and overclock at a zillion gigahertz that, in fact, a year ago, we pretty much built budget-friendly PCs that probably had these exact same specs. So it's just kind of food for thought. Now, it's that time again. It's that time of the week when, we seem to get more information or another report on an RTX 4090 melting its power cable. And this week, it's no different. Wow, that's tough. But this time, it is different. This time, a Reddit user claims to have used the NVIDIA-provided cable, not bending it too much at all, and having the pins back out and melt the connection. It's like all of the stars aligned. I had the PC in, I had the GPU just at a 45-degree angle, the sun was at 36 degrees, the cable was plugged all the way in, I basically had Tech Jesus watching over the entire installation, and yet it's still fried. See, they even claimed that the cable had been plugged in properly and even heard that satisfying click when they connected it. They also said that it was at 3.6 decibels. Just kidding, they didn't get that crazy, but the problem is that this has now led to a lot of discussion around the warranty and the use of the original cable provided by NVIDIA that seems to be an issue, and that using third-party cables could be an issue. Well, actually, recently JAYZTWOCENTS uploaded a great video, which you should watch right here, discussing the warranty and its language around the third-party cables, and he's got a lot of great information and insight into this. So definitely you should check that out. But the long and short of it is this: the language in the warranty is intentionally vague. Darn those lawyers. To basically give the folks at NVIDIA leeway to determine if their hardware is at fault or if it's a third party that's to blame, since they can't exactly account for every single cable manufacturer out there. Now, there's a wide variety of cable manufacturers, and there's even a wider range of quality control. But the language around use of non-compliant or third-party power connector adapters may cause technical issues and may void your manufacturer's warranty, is what the 4090 owners, like myself and so many others, are a little bit worried about. See, the key takeaway is the words non-compliant and may in this statement. CableMod, who's a notable cable manufacturer, stated that NVIDIA has never said that their cables would void warranties, and that NVIDIA actually encouraged and worked with them to develop their cables to give users more choices when it comes to how you power your GPUs. In JAYZTWOCENTS video, he actually went as far as saying something that NVIDIA should do is include a list of what you consider a compliant power cable and manufacturer in their warranty information and on the specifications for the product. Just like motherboard manufacturers do with like their vendor qualified lists for RAM and everything else that works with their board. I don't know, it seems pretty reasonable. Okay, so enough about hardware news and melting GPUs. Let's talk about the games. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Next Gen update is finally coming. So the next gen consoles and hardware have been out for a while, and most games and titles, at least on the X-Byte side of the fence, have already gotten like a next gen update that typically adds like higher resolution textures or improved lighting and even ray tracing in some cases. But CD Projekt Red has just announced that on December 14th, mark it on your calendar, big red circle, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt will be getting its next generation update that gamers have been waiting for, including myself. I have really excited about this. Now, there aren't a lot of details to go along with the announcement. There will be plenty of visual performance and technical enhancements with the game, including ray tracing, so happy dance for that if you're into ray tracing. But they also said they promised to integrate a variety of mods into the base Witcher 3 experience. And no, we don't know what those mods are, so drop your favorite Witcher 3 mod in the chat below, and we'll circle back to see if anyone's right when it comes out in about a month. It looks like we'll also be getting some DLC that inspired by the Netflix series with new weapons and armor and alternative looks for select characters. I'm guessing we'll get Henry Cavill as Geralt, or will it be Liam Hemsworth? Whoa, 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 put down the rock, put down the rock. No, not the physical rock. He's not in the show yet. Anyway, the update will be absolutely free to everyone that already owns any version of the game, and CD Projekt Red said that they will have a live stream later this next week with more details. So this last story is a bit of a weird one. There's a developer at Toybox Game. His name is Tyser Butler Boshema. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, but anyway, he was messing around in UE5 earlier this year, and he made a video to show a proof of concept demo showcasing like Superman flying through the city from Epic's The Matrix Awakening game. See, this rework of the demo was released for free on itch.io, but if you try to watch the video that showcases what's in the demo, it doesn't play. That's because the video and entire project has been copyright claimed by Hero Game Studios that released Hero City Superman Edition on Steam at the beginning of November, and allegedly it's the exact same game that Tyson worked on and released for free. See, it appears that they just ripped off his demo and released it on Steam as an actual game for $10.99. So after Tyson found out about it and asked users to flag it and report it, the developer banned his Steam account from posting on the game's Steam forum and copyright claims on his YouTube. This company claims that the game isn't stolen and that one of the former developers of their user team left a long time ago and is now claiming that the work is his own. But here's the deal, Tyson is calling them out on this, stating that he has no clue who these people are, and that even though it's possible to create something similar since he used assets publicly available on the Unreal Marketplace, everything is identical down to the colors he used, shape of the character, the boots, and the cape physics. He states that a lot of people have made flying demos in the Matrix level, but none of them have cape physics because of the work needed to make them look correct. And he bought the game just to confirm his suspicions. He found that the opening level he created from scratch had the message from him that he wrote that explained how the demo works and offers 2 doors to walk through. Aside from the fact that it's being marketed as a Superman game, so DC probably isn't too thrilled about this. Whoa, hit it again. But it is quite clearly a shady company trying to make a quick buck off of someone's work. Thankfully, it does appear that the game was pulled from Steam and his YouTube account is back up and running after the egregious copyright claim. It's shady stuff that happens sometimes, but this is kind of a new low. Okay, well anyway guys, that is it for the news this week. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, what is your system spec? Are you running a bad boy like this? This is a 13900K with a 4090 and a very tiny, very well-engineered PC. Are you looking forward to the future of Intel and AMD CPUs? Are you looking for stuff like that? I know a ton of you are waiting for the 3D cache, especially on AMD CPUs. Will you be jumping back into The Witcher 3 when it gets its next-gen update in December 14th, like me? The answer is yes. Let us know all of that and more down in the comments below, as well as when you'll be playing on December 14th, so I'll make sure that we don't release a video on that day that keeps you from playing such an amazing game. So while you're down there, go ahead and tap that like and subscribe button that are, right there, and turn on notifications so you don't miss another video like this one. And be sure to check out our live streams over on our larger YouTube channel over at youtube.com/Robeytech or also over at twitch.tv/Robeytech. We stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday starting at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Also, before you go, why not head over to your favorite social media platform and give us a follow? We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and also we have our amazing community over at discord.gg/Robeytech, where you can go and talk about these very stories and so much more, and maybe make a friend. Anyway guys, that is it for us. Thank you so much for watching, and we will watch you, we'll see you, and watch you. Maybe we're doing both on the next one.